News. They are based in Pretoria. If you need any information, kindly contact them on the provided information. Thank you. Xaxa. I hear you about Operation Dudula and the likes. You always link Operation Dudula with the Zimbabweans. What's your sentiment on Zimbabwe? Because, Zimbabweans and Dudula don't get along, and I know by all intents and purposes, you guys do regard Zimbabweans as your fellow African brothers. Kat, I've seen you, but let me just ask this question, and then you'll pop in. So here's the thing. With Zimbabweans, you offered them, because they're going to elections now. I feel it's one of the most useless elections ever in SADC, because, I mean, straight up, Mnangagwa's going to take that one. No contest there.
Yeah.
What, besides promising them transport, free buses, of which it angered a lot of people, what else, what kind of support are you going to give Zimbabweans? Because people feel Zimbabweans don't want to go back and fix their country.
Look, Zimbabweans do want to go back home and fix their country.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. There is no one who wants to leave their homeland and go to other people's country just by liking it.
Yes.
It's only the ones who came here in 1652 to come here and steal our lands, our minerals and everything, and they took back. You must remember, it's only Europeans who have two homes. They will have a home here in Africa and a home in Europe or in America.
Yes.
Zimbabweans have got only one home, which is Africa. If you can go back and look at our history as Africans in the 1880s, you will check that Africans were rotating with seasons to go and find homestead so that they can plant. When the season is out, they go and plant somewhere. We're moving within our continent. We never crossed the only ocean to go into someone's country and go and mess up there. So
which culture did that?
Everyone. Any African. If the Tsongas, you go to Kenya, in Kenya, you will find Tsongas there. You go to Malawi, you will find Zulus there. You go to Zimbabwe, you will find Xhosas there.
I understand and agree with you. I was just asking which culture do that, because, for example, the San and the Khoi, they would move as they were. I just thought maybe we've got a culture in specific that does that. But being there as it may, let me bring Kat in, because he wanted to come in.
Yeah.
Kat, already.
Yeah, no, thanks. No, I wanted to say our people are being misled by vigilante groups like Dudula, which is not guided by any policy or having guiding documents on who they are and what they represent. They just mislead the society. They lobby them into one group, telling them that Africans, brothers and sisters, are taking their jobs and stuff, so we must fight black on black violence, which is disingenuous, malicious to us as Africans. It's misleading. It doesn't shape Africa as it's supposed to be. Our people, our people are struggling, and our people are losing who we are because of the colonists, what they did to Africa. You should know historically that in Africa there were no borders. We are one thing. You can say there's a black foreigner in Africa. How do you become a foreigner in your own continent? Why? Because white people came here, they divided us so that they can manage us. And then now, we do no longer see our reflection on other...
Are you saying you don't mind undocumented people in the country?
That one is an issue that can be dealt by those who feel South Africans. Because ourselves here in South Africa, we have a government that is in charge.
But you understand we had borders even before the whites came?
No, there's no such. Let me conclude this point I'm trying to drive here. in our country here in South Africa, people came in, those who are undocumented came in through fences and whatever the arrangement they used. And now when these people are inside here, they left their countries maybe because of economical reasons, others there's war and stuff. So when they are here in this country, we can't treat them as if they don't belong to this continent, where else we know that it's white people who came and divided us so that they can try to manage us. Now where we are, Dudola, they want us to fight our black people, saying, no, they are taking beds in hospitals, they are taking our jobs there and there, what stuff so ever. So I want to submit this point to you, that we will never, as the EFF, fight black people. How they get in here, we don't know. The people who are supposed to be responsible and held accountable for those people to come to this country is the sitting government. Because we are having soldiers in the borders, there's security in the borders. So when those people are here, why must we ill-treat them? We must ask the ANC government, how did these people arrive here?
All right, no, thanks, Ken. So so you also say, before the Europeans came, we did not have boundaries amongst ourselves as Africans.
Yeah.
So we did not use rivers, we did not use forests, we did not use mountains as boundaries.
No, we didn't use that as boundaries. What we are talking about here, we're talking about boundaries as physical borders.
Yeah, those, the things I mentioned are physical borders.
A river cannot stop you from crossing it to the other side. Like, and when you cross a river, you won't be requested documentation. There was no documentation there. In 1884 and 1885, the European powers said in Berlin, they call it the Congo Congress. They divided Africa on how they want to impose imperialism and divide it. That's when we were divided through borders. That here the Belgians will lead, here the French will lead, here England will lead, will colonize these people. So Africans had no borders. We must not.
The Congo conference has nothing to do with the question. So the question is.
It has everything to do with the question because it was the resolution taken in from that conference to divide Africa.
What I asked you was, you believe even before the Congo Congress happened in Berlin, there was no borders. We did not use borders as Africans.
We didn't have borders.
Then it's fine. Let's leave it.
Yeah.
Can you explain the 7 cardinal pillars, any of them or all of them, whatever you remember, to a potential voter?
Look,
how can you sell it?
We've got the first and the most important cardinal pillar in the EFF. All of them are very important, but the most and first important cardinal pillar is expropriation of land without compensation for equal distribution. When we expropriate land, we are talking about taking the land into the custodianship of the state with its resources. Anything which is underground, the earth or the land of South Africa or of Africa, must belong to the custodianship of the state. If you want to use a particular portion of land, you will go to the state and apply, explain what you want to use it for, and the state allocates to you. What is difficult about that?
No, it's nothing difficult.
So that is the most important cardinal pillar number 1 of the EFF, which carries the riches of Africa. You see now, there is a huge war which is happening in Nigeria, between France and Nigeria.
Yes.
And there is a puppet of a president of Nigeria, that old man, is trying to push, because Africa is changing. There is a new Africa which is coming.
Yeah.
So the new leaders understand very well what must be done. How can we have resources and be poor? How can we be beggars while we've got everything? The world